What if I told you that a lot of the superpowers comic book superheroes possess really do exist in real life? Yeah, believe it or not, superpowers are not just the work of fiction, TV series, or comics. There are some folks in the world who are imbued with abilities, which their peers can only dream of. Of course, these special abilities will seem trivial compared to the overly dramatic superpowers you see in comic books. Sure, not all superpowers will manifest in the superhero's childhood, but every superhero has an origin story, and this is the story of 10 children with real superpowers. Nadana Unikrishnan, mind reader. Medical experts from all around the world were amazed by this little girl, who was reported to have telepathic abilities, and Nadana was just 7 years old when her extraordinary ability first appeared. When word got out that the girl could access her mother's thoughts without touching her or using any other physical medium, her story got the attention of thousands of people around the world. Nadana's parents were just as baffled by everyone else as they were curious to see if their daughter could read the minds of other people, just as she did her mother's, but it turned out that she had this special connection only with her mother. As expected, Nadana's extraordinary superpowers were put to the test. The girl's mother was given several items to read in her mind. Among them was a cell phone number, a random sentence, and a grade 2 level poem, which apparently Nadana had never come across. The girl passed all the tests and proved to the world that she could in fact access her mother's thoughts and emotions. A superpower which her mother says has strengthened their mother-daughter bond. Yang Jinglong, super strength. An amazing footage of a 7-year-old boy from a countryside province in China went viral when it showed the pin-sized boy pulling a 2-ton vehicle. The boy weighed only 110 pounds, but he was growing remarkably fast. He challenged himself to some hard and demanding feats to see how strong he was getting. The boy was obviously gifted, and he used his superpowers to do more than just towing vehicles. You need your heavyweight or cement stacks loaded onto a truck? Yang Jinglong will sling those 220-pound sacks on his back and have them loaded wherever you need them. Well, of course, you cannot employ him just yet, since he is still a kid, but the fact that he is a kid carrying a 220-pound bag without breaking a sweat is impressive. Yang's most incredible feat of strength has to be the moment when he is seen carrying his 198-pound father around their home. You bet he'll beat all his friends at tug of war. Anna Baelish, archery. Remember Oliver Queen from the hit series Arrow, like a host of other well-known superheroes from the Hunger Games and the Avengers. Now here's a 19-year-old girl whose prowess with the bow and arrow wowed thousands of people around the world. The girl from Russia is a gifted acrobat as well as an avid archer. Some of the stunts she performs call for an extraordinary level of flexibility, which takes time and dedication to practice and master. Anna Baelish's superpower is sort of like the Playboy's vigilante, Oliver Queen. She became an overnight sensation when a video was uploaded showing her shooting an arrow with the bow in her feet. Brock Brown, Incredible Hulk. This kid from Michigan was 5 foot 2 inches when he was still in kindergarten. At the age of 19, the boy measured an opposing 7 feet 8 inches. But most remarkably, Brock Brown never did stop growing. His growth rate was measured at 6 inches per year. You would need to stand on a stool if you wish to take his measurement. If you're a fan of Dr. Bruce Banner, you immediately think of the Hulk. You see how remarkably tall and heavily built Brock is? The boy is soft-spoken and has a big heart. Nothing like Bruce Banner's alter ego Hulk. Unfortunately, unlike Dr. Banner, this kid cannot transform from a giant to a regular-sized teen. He's always going to order size 28 shoes and tailor-made clothes. He's always going to be the tallest person in the room wherever he goes. Nikolai Kryglenchenko, Magneto. Nikolai was just a regular kid in Russia, and there was nothing you say was special about the boy. Ouch. But everything changed when the boy was knocked out by a massive electric shock from a faulty wire dangling from a lamppost he had been leaning on. The jolt of electricity from the shock almost killed him, but the boy survived. And later, it came almost as a relief when he realized that the accident had given him some sort of superpowers. Metallic objects could stick to his skin as if he was Michael Fassbender, X-Men's Magneto. The boy, who is a keen fan of comics, wanted to be a policeman, but changed his career goal to a superhero after seeing that he gained some superpowers. What an interesting story, but some scientists didn't buy it. As far as they know, the boy simply had unusually sticky skin. This boy can hold a frying pan up with no other contact but his chest. Is that magnetism or really sticky skin? Deepak Jangra, Electro. You'll see this boy from India touch a live wire with his tongue and think he must have a death wish. But the reality is that Deepak Jangra is able to extend up to 11,000 volts. This is the amount of electricity only accessible through a high voltage overhead transmission line. So if 110 volts or 240 volt charge shock can cause internal burning or fibrillation, imagine how much damage can be done by a supply that is 100 times that your normal household voltage. But this kid does not seem to get shocked by any form of electricity. The first time he realized that, he was able to withstand a lot of electric power flowing through his body. He was excited and wanted to know how much electricity he could take. He would fill a bucket with water, toss in a live wire from a 440 volt supply, and then he would put his hand in the water, but nothing would happen to him. Everyone in the village was obviously amazed by his superpower and started calling him Electro. But no one anticipated that the boy would actually climb an electric pole to touch a high voltage 11K wire, just to see how much his body could take. Well, now there's no doubting that he is a real human electricity insulator. Nong Yu Hui, Night Vision. This young boy from a remote village in China was born with sky blue eyes, like those of a Siamese cat. His parents have black-colored eyes, as did their parents before them. As such, everyone was amazed to see that their son Nong Yu Hui had brilliant blue eyes. What's remarkable is that the boy's eyes turn a reflective neon green when light is flashed on them. You only see this characteristic in cats and other nocturnal animals. But Nong Yu Hui, like cats, is able to see in the dark. And nocturnal animals enhance night vision by a layer of specialized cells at the back of the eyes, which act as retroreflectors, basically because this means that any light that goes through the eye is reflected back through the retina, thereby representing an additional light for illuminating things in the dark. While Nong Yu Hui lacks these specialized cells, he does have the ability to see in very small quantities of light. This was proven in a test in which the boy had to fill out a questionnaire while sitting in a dark room. Liam Hoekstra, super strong toddler. Liam's extraordinary strength was first evident when he was just a toddler at only 5 months old. The boy was doing the Iron Cross and would pace up the stairs and down unsupported. 1-year-old Liam was playing with 5-pound dumbbells, throwing them across the house like they were paperweight, and he dominated the chant far as well. The boy's story is quite an interesting one. With the king of twist DC Comics, special creators used to introduce new superhero characters. As a toddler, Liam's mother gave him up for adoption when she thought he had some kind of birth defect. He was soon adopted and his adoptive parents had a medical checkup done because they felt that the boy appeared to be too strong for a toddler. The report revealed that Liam was born with a rare myostatin condition known as muscle hypertrophy. This would mean that the baby boy would develop more mass and little to no body fat. Basically, this would mean that the boy would always be muscular without having to do much to keep it up. Boris Kiprianovich, peculiar alien boy. He's a kid not from Earth. That's right. Boris, also named Forishka, has puzzled experts and thousands of people like you by claiming that he was a Martian before he was born to his Earth-dwelling human parents. The boy's knowledge of the planet Mars was impressive. He seems to know a lot of things about the galaxies, too much for a boy who was only 3 years of age. Boris claimed that he acquired all that knowledge from his past life on Mars, and he remembered a great deal of it. He often talked about his life before he was on Earth. He especially talked about how life on Mars was before an all-out war broke out. He claimed that the war destroyed the Martian civilization and everyone on the planet had to seek shelter underground. Emma Tablet, fire starter. This girl is not on fire but can set things on fire with the power of her mind. She is a 3-year-old girl from the Antisha province of Western Visayas in the Philippines. She was living what you'd say is a normal childhood until people started associating her to fires that would start wherever she went. And it was not something that the local community took lightly. The police had to cordon off the house where she stayed with her parents as they investigated the matter. It was when the mayor of the town visited the home, the girl's abilities turned heads. Apparently, the girl said something was going to catch on fire while the mayor was still in the house. And not long after, a shirt hanging in the house caught fire. All the girl had to do to start the fire was to utter the words "Sangyon" in Filipino for fire and something would burn.